Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Beautiful Monday to all of you folks out there. It is Monday, the 4th of April, 2022. I'm Geretta Finance, welcoming you to FYI alongside Shara Duncan this morning. I don't ever get it right. I don't get it right, guys.
Good to see you guys. Good to see you. Happy Monday.
Yeah, happy Monday, everyone. I hope you had a great weekend. I hope everyone up and about, all bouncy and ready to start this working week. So I see a couple persons have been in the comment section. They started this discussion long before we got on.
Yeah. Good to see you folks. Good to see each and every one of you. Shakira Phillips and Candy, Naleen Inderjit, Shakira, and all the other guys. Welcome to FYI. You know, don't we going to tell you how to share. We won't tell you how to share the live stream. You know what you got to do. We won't tell you how to share the program. You know you got to. We won't tell you how to smash the emoji.
I think you should just come on and start doing the symbol, you know? You know what it means. Come on, guys. You know what it means. When that's my representation. For those
morning, guys.
Know,
Warren is here.
Warren, you're early, man.
And let us know that you guys are hearing us loud and clear. That we're clear on your side. Maureen Chichester Paul is here. Warren Figueroa, as we said. Vicky Narayan. Sonia Corlett. Magnell Barrow, Marilyn Thomas. Yeah, all the usual. Beatrice was late this morning.
But it looks so.
Were you late this morning?
Candy, Nalini kind of beat Beatrice to the punch this morning, you know. So that's
it's always a toss-up between Candy and Beatrice. But good to have both of you guys and all the other folks who are joining us. I see Cherry Baskin Robbins joining us as well from Barbados. Baskin Greenwich. Baskin Greenwich. Joining us from Barbados. Sherry, how are you doing? Happy New Week to you.
I see Facebook user again. You know these names.
Yeah. You give yourself a name, the man. Facebook have a name, you all know. Facebook user.
Hubert Musa is in the house this morning. Guys, let us know where you're joining us from this morning. Make sure that you share and let us know where you're joining from. And let us know how many of you actually invited friends to join this morning.
Yeah, I'm so hungry. The tea almost finished.
You know, Cher's going to be having to make
I see licorice today. The tea almost finished. But good to have you guys. And please let us know that you're hearing us loud and clear. Beatrice was in the bathroom. Only for today. I'm late. I'm rushing now. Yeah, she's rushing out. You know, you got to do what you got to do. Take us in the bathroom, the toilet, kitchen, bedroom.
Strange enough, a lot of persons probably have their phone listening.
I wonder.
Any part of the
snap
house.
A selfie where you are.
No, do not.
Snap a selfie wherever you are. Send it to us.
If you know it's not in the place that is user friendly.
Oh yes. Well, good to see all the guys joining us. We're so happy.
It's Mary Fraser. Good morning to you, Mary. Mary's joining us from Linden this morning. Good morning to you. I see so many of you joining us from around the world, and we're always so happy to have you here with us. Gavin, Liverpool. Gavin, hey. I see.
Hey, Gavin.
Well, this one, that name I kind of like. Sheila's boy child.
Sheila Boy Child. How are you doing, Sheila Boy Child?
Marlon says loud and clear, so thank you for that feedback.
Yeah. One person.
Marlon said I already share.
Good.
So don't worry with that.
Good. I'm sure you got 2 groups and 3 profiles more you could share.
So I see it's
Sheila Boy Child. No, call the rest. It used to be what's his name again? Something Sheila Boy Child. He just gone full now.
Oh my goodness.
It's important. It's Sheila Boy Child. That's important.
So he knocked off his name.
Yes. Yeah. I think it was Gavin.
I see someone joining us, I think from Antigua. The name went by so fast this morning.
Niagara Falls is here.
Oh, you know, always here.
Robert Pops, Archer.
Yeah.
Niagara Falls. Swimming shoe. So the falls there.
Vanessa De Silva is here joining us from Linden this morning. Linden, people come through early this morning, man.
Hi, Vanessa. How are you guys doing? How's Linden? You know, we have a couple of things to talk about Linden. Region 10 too.
Yeah.
On the whole, Linden and Region 10. Here the water giving y'all some problems there.
Some.
Water woes.
Major woes.
Water woes. We can talk about that a little later on. The water woes in Linden. Francia Fraser, FF. Right? Stephen Monroe.
Monroe.
Yeah, you see, make I forget it. I think of it. Stephen Monroe, Auntie Sheila Boychel. Sheila Boychel.
So you don't have to ask who his mother is. So.
Gotta make a note of that.
Waterloo here too says
Waterloo, Ontario, Canada.
Yes, says Vashti Magnot.
Vashti Magnot. Say hi to Rupert for us.
Paulette Hicks is here this morning.
Paulette, how you doing? Say hi to B for us.
Paulette, I think I know this person. Paulette Hicks.
Paulette Hicks.
I know her. I think so.
It's proper people.
Tessa Isaac also is here this morning. Joy Kosher.
Yeah, that's a nice name, Joy Kosher.
Yeah, Joy. But you have a name like Joy.
You got a pleasant person. You can't be a Virgo.
No, you can't be a director.
You see why they said no. I was about to say, you know what? Don't hold back. It's Monday.
Let me say it. We can say these things about ourselves. Nobody else can say. Don't worry. Is it Francia? Is it Francia Fraser?
Yeah, Francia is there.
This morning.
Glensis Mingo Byrne, Paula Mattis.
I think I say that name wrong every time. Mingo Byrne, the first name. What is the first name? Glensis.
Yeah.
Okay, I think
is it Glycis? Sorry, not Glensis. Glycis.
Therefore, you say that.
We both say that. Glycis. And now look at it. The old eyes, folks. The old eyes. The old eyes. Glycis Mingo Byrne. Marlon Cox. And Cox is capital. Caps right through.
Yeah, that person is very proud.
Emphasis. Cecile Ogle. Marilyn.
You got to say Monroe.
Almost says Monroe. Marilyn King, good to see you. Same thing.
Same
They're both
person,
sweet.
Right? Sandra Baptist, good morning to you. Sandra, where are you joining us from this morning? Sandra, I see it's Kat. Is it Catherine? Catherine, the spell's a little different. Good morning to you. How are you this morning? Pauline Austin, good morning to you.
Pauline, how are you doing?
The weekend was not long enough for me. I don't know about you. I just needed an extra day.
Don't remind me.
I needed an extra day. I feel like it just started. It's over already. So I was happy if we could just have an extra day. Sure, let's just declare today another weekend day.
Declared.
And be on with our lives.
I hear you.
It was too short. I'm telling you, I had so many things to get done. I don't know about anybody else, but housework is a different. Who invented this?
Damn you!
I want to find this person
housework
who invented housework.
Damn you guys! Damn you! Whoever. Yep. Is it Shania?
Yeah.
Shania Cambridge, fancy name?
Yeah, all the way from Bartica.
Oh wow! Wow, you're very good too.
We Barticians are
very good too.
We're very special people. So that's not
Shania,
special person.
are you a pleasant person or
extremely
you're extra?
Extremely pleasant.
You can be biased a little bit, but let us know. Pleasant or thingish. Chanela Bacchus, Cameron Augustus is here. Charlotte Joseph. I see all the other guys are here too. Good to see you guys.
Yes. Well, a lot happening, and no matter how short the weekend is, it seems like the news just gets longer as time
More
goes
things
by.
to discuss.
More things to discuss. So much happening out there this morning. So, guys, you would want to share the live stream, as we say every single morning. You'll want to go and share so many important discussions that we had. Things that not only you need to hear.
Pull up a chair. Pull up a cup of tea
as well.
Right. I having some tea bag tea. What are you guys having?
I think you just say like
I having some tea bag tea. Maybe some of you having some Milo tea, coffee tea. What kind of tea you guys having out there?
That's a thing.
I'm
trying to get beat up for this thing.
And then a cup with flavor and sugar.
Brenda Moore. Good morning, Brenda.
Brenda.
Where are you joining from this morning?
Come through, Brenda. Come through.
Let us know. We're your business.
Rock and come in, Brenda. Rock and come in.
Carol Rollins is having Milo. Not Milo tea.
Milo. You just eat the dry.
You see Chanela Bacchus joining us from Bartica. Let me tell you something.
Tell me about Chanela.
No, not about Chanela, but let me tell you about the Bacchus family. Bacchus family is
her family?
Bacchus family in Bartica. Okay. Once the Bacchus, you're a relative to the Bacchus.
Okay.
Right?
Tell me that.
Bacchus family is a very closely knitted family, very wide, a very large family, and everybody knows the Bacchus family. But you don't mess around the Bacchus them at all.
It's like that.
It's a whole family that's rep.
There's represent. There's fighting police station and selling and so.
Hey, wait, not that type.
Oh, I see.
When you see the Bacchus, if you see one Bacchus going about the business by yourself, you don't think you could go and interfere with the Bacchus, because the whole Bacchus generation
back up there for the Bacchus.
is going to come to you. So, welcome to the
Mary
program.
Fraser is having bush tea.
Oh, bush tea.
Bush tea. What kind of bush?
That's my question. What type of
lemongrass? I don't know.
Lemongrass?
That's the only one I know, I think.
Seriously? There's sweet broom.
Daisy.
Oh my gosh, sir, there's so
Thanks
many.
for reminding me. That was the only one came my lemongrass. Almost says them grass. Crab grass. Kill now the nature there. I had some Morbi yesterday, my lord. COVID, I had nothing on that Morbi. It was so strong, would knock it out. Morbi was real strong. Oh my.
Well, Bartika had one guy that usually used to make, well, this guy was known for Morbi, Mr. Joris, but after Mr. Joris passed away, we don't see this whole Morbi culture be so dominant as it was prior. Because everybody that went to Bartika prior would go to Mr. Joris's First Avenue Morbi.
So Morbi guy said he's strong.
I don't know. But I want to say, I'm not gonna quote this, right? But I'm not gonna give you any specific number. But Mrs. Joris had he used to sell Morbi. He was known for Morbi, and Mrs. Joris had well over 30 children.
It's the Morbi. something in the Morbi.
I don't know what it was. Guys, Bartika that's here. If you know how many children Mrs. Joris had, you could tell us. Because it was in the newspaper at one particular time when he more than 30. It was quite a number. I can't
Where did you find time to sell Morbi? That's an efficient fellow. Efficient.
Yes.
Gets his business done.
I know. That has a repetition all by itself.
Yeah. 30 kids.
Yes, but as we go into our
I'm 27 short. 27 short.
I'll be sure not to have that in my household.
Morbi.
No Morbi permitted in our household. At all.
Go ahead, Twitter. Go right ahead.
Naomi Jaka said, how you know all these kids who are his? Them old women had tricks.
Naomi, hold on, Naomi. Naomi now bringing Mr. Drucker.
No,
Joris into disrepute. I can see now people going for DNA sample, digging up Mr. Joris with DNA sample.
No, it was like those were his kids surreal. The newspaper.
How you know?
One particular, listen,
she's making allegations.
This is not any.
I don't want to bring the family.
It's not a makeup story. They're
cool.
like
it's all good.
One Father's Day, he was in one of the nation's newspaper with his story because
I remember reading a story. I couldn't remember that is Mr. Joris because I remember reading a similar story and I thought about how parents and children can drift apart because there was this one instance where this guy had a lot of kids too, and I think one of the daughters were giving a comment. The daughter was living in Berbice and hadn't seen the father in like 20 years, something like that. He had all these kids. I mean, you got a lot of time. You got 20 kids. I don't know the energy, but you know, maybe it's Morbi. Maybe it's Morbi got some of we right here. Sit up. Maybe it's Morbi got some of y'all out there strong, working hard. Who knew?
Who knew? I do not know.
Who knew? Morbi. Morbi it is. That being said, Gina.
Yeah, that being said, I want us to go straight into the morning trend this morning. And the first thing we're looking at is that a committee is not
we're on the trend?
The morning paper, sorry. My goodness, I'm rushing ahead, guys.
Morbi.
It's a Morbi conversation.
Morbi got you so bad.
It's a Morbi conversation.
Morbi got you so bad. Go ahead, Sweet.
Yeah, as you're on the morning papers this morning, one of the things I want to take note of is that we're seeing that the committee is to be set up to manage the number 63 beach for the Easter activities. Okay. And guys, FYI family, you would know that this is something we spoke about right here at this table. Right here. And we said that we need to have systems in place and government needs to play an active role in any public space. So we would like to thank the administration for listening into the program.
Y'all are here, so you're listening today.
Listening. So for folks going out there, you would remember that there was this very startling video with the tide coming in really quickly.
The water.
And vehicles so packed up there that they were not getting out as fast as they should have. So we see a committee to be set up. Hopefully it functions as efficiently as we would hope that it would, so that persons are protected when they go to enjoy these activities.
And the moral of that is find out when it's high tide on that particular day.
Yeah.
Easter Monday, find out when the high tide coming in.
Correct. And another heading that we were looking at this morning in the paper says 53 days, no parliament. Well, we are so this information.
What's new?
This information is like, how many days have we got last time? So it was almost 100 or more.
The administration only comes to Parliament when it needs money. That's the only thing.
That's the only time they come to Parliament.
Money. We need money.
They come for the budget. They come for supplementary. That's when they come to Parliament. Basically, if they need something to be enacted into law, they come and they come for that. Those are the reasons they come. They do not come to Parliament for the business of the house and the country to be carried on in any efficient way. Reminds
me that I'm on suspension too.
Oh my gosh, we almost forgot. That's how long it has been.
That's how long. I forget. That's how long we meet. I forget. And whenever it meets, I think I got two sit-ins, right? Before I can go back. I think I'm out by 2 sit-ins.
2 sit-ins. Yeah. My gosh.
Life.
Well, that might be the whole year.
53 days. I think so.
That might be the entire
Looking forward
year.
To see my parliamentary colleagues in 2023. That being said,
because 53 days. My goodness.
No parliament. 53 days.
Well, we see Mr. Aubrey Norton is speaking out against that at this moment.
Yes, also. And you know what I love? You had 5 years on the previous administration, and you never saw a headline like that.
Never, not once.
53 days, no parliament. 30 days, no parliament. 90 days, no parliament. And these are the guys, again, for 2022, promised a robust legislative agenda.
Yeah.
Again. Right? Well, we're looking into it right now.
Well, they were the ones actually, because the whole reason why we are so far back at a PAC level with the reports that we are examining is because they didn't meet. Irfan Ali, as chairman of the PAC, refused to meet on a weekly basis as they should to examine reports. You know,
I can understand.
They have this way of not wanting to meet.
Even very low energy. So I don't think. Very, very low energy.
Yeah, another thing that I'm picking out of to the morning papers is the unarmed man an unarmed man that was shot about 2 years ago. He actually died. And what was interesting about this is that he actually succumbed with the bullet still lodged in his spine.
Wow.
2 years after. You know, very, very sad story there. We can do a little bit of more discussion on that as we go along this morning, but that's another thing that we're picking up out of this morning's paper. And obviously, another one that we're looking at is the EPA defends the decision not to re-engage public on the EIA changes.
EPA again. What are we going to do?
Are we surprised? It was 6,000 plus pages. In how many days they went through it?
Less than a week. Less
5 working days.
Yeah.
6,000. So that is the level of
EPA got a lot of work to do. I don't know. Again, these headlines seem alien 5 years ago, right? The rush in which they're trying to approve some, and it's not a good kind of rush either, right? You know, it seems as though they already had the thing approved, just waiting behind them, right? And we got to watch this. And a lot of folks are concerned about this issue across the political divide. A lot of folks is concerned what's happening with EPA, ExxonMobil, and our environment, right? The 3 E's.
Well, we see ExxonMobil actually taking Glenlal to task. I see Exxon has been doing a lot of responses
Exxon to Glenlal. Take people to task?
You know, they're attempting to, but Glenlal is not having it. Glenlal is not having it. He is out there and he's going to be speaking out. As always, anyone that follows the Kaiser newspaper would see Glenlal has been someone that has been addressing the issue.
Yes.
With Exxon.
We have to give him that.
I have to give him kudos. Must.
Take the Glen. Take it.
Yeah, so Exxon has, I think they realized that persons are listening, they understand everything that he's saying, and persons are in agreement with a lot of what he's saying. So that now they want to address him directly. You know, Glenlal should have approached court sooner, says one of the headlines.
Oh, they're so thoughtful, aren't they?
You know, so
ExxonMobil so thoughtful.
Well, Guyanese, we're different. So I think they're going
to. They should pay the lawyer's fee too. So thoughtful. Should have approached the court earlier. So thoughtful, guys. So very thoughtful.
Yeah, but those are some of the things in the morning papers this morning. But as we go into the morning trend, we want to start from the international front.
You know, some folks, you know, firstly, let me say again, thanks for all of you who joining our morning program, FYI. Pull up a cup of tea, whether it's Milo tea, it's tea, it's tea bag tea, whatever you're having for breakfast, and let's talk about a couple of issues. And we hope that some of what we've gone through the morning some of what we've covered in the morning papers have appealed to you. We know you have a busy day. Sometimes we don't always get the time to check in with the news to see what's happening. But it's quite important. It's quite important to see what's happening around you, in your community, in your neighborhood, in the country, and even internationally. It's quite important. And so we're so happy that all of you guys are here with us. Ensure as you log in, as you log on, as you hook up, as you hook in, and as you drink your Morby, folks,
hook up.
That you hook
up, you said?
Hook up as you hook up to the program, as you
log in,
log on, as you move sideways and forward. Share the live stream.
Just like he's doing it, gracefully like that.
And smash the emoji button, guys. And let's have a look at the morning trend.
Yes. Yep. One of the things
over to you, Jurita.
Is what's going on the international front. And guys,
what's going on? Tell us.
I want to say that we have been speaking a lot. The world has been speaking a lot about the war in Ukraine right now, but it has not gotten any better. It has. It's still in a state but it's actually worse right now. And there have been several reports of war crimes. And we see there that there's international outrage as bodies of civilian men were found spewing across the streets in Kyiv suburbs. So this is something that we have been looking at, we've been following, but this is a war crime. These are civilians of Ukraine, and we are having several reports from the international front. CNN, BBC, Al Jazeera, all the news that you can think about is actually covering this story right now, the war crime that is going on. So while a lot of us may have been distracted a little bit by the little nonsense on the Oscars and all of that, a war is still happening, and we need not be distracted away from that. It is as crazy as you can get, and those images there, very, very disturbing images as you're looking at right there. This is not bodies of soldiers that are fighting, and these are bodies of civilians. So it's very concerning, very, very concerning altogether.
You know what strikes me, guys, is the fact that we said that we would never be here again in another war. We'd never allow this stuff to happen. And it seems as though we're just standing by on the sidelines. Glenford Gordon and Chin Sing Henry. What do you guys think? Like, are we here still? We say we'd never allow any conflict to escalate to this. And it seems as though, President Zelensky might be right, President of the Ukraine, that we've been sitting on our hands. We need action. What's the purpose of the UN?
Correct.
Right?
Yes.
What's the purpose of the UN and NATO and all these organizations that billions of dollars is pouring into? Might as well we close them down and we just eliminate world hunger or something like that. Because we keep saying never again, never again.
I think it was none other than Keith Rowley, Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, that said he never thought he would have lived to see a war in Europe. But here it is. Before us, we're looking at the images every single day.
Because when the Second World War ended in 1939, I think it was, we said never again in history.
And begs the question as to what you're saying, what support comes to nations that are not equipped to defend themselves in situations as this? What support?
Who's your friends? Because if the US is an ally of the Ukraine, I ain't wanting them if they weren't allies.
Yeah, well that's.
If they weren't allies, my lord, Ukrainians are in the street, civilians shot, hands tied behind their backs, for crying out loud. So if we weren't allies, my lord. So there it is.
As murder, that's what it is right there. Another another piece that we're picking out of the international front is the Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan calls for early elections after no confidence vote was dismissed. Those are one of the things that we're picking up out in the papers. And this is a story that I'm going to be following. I'll give you a little bit more on that tomorrow morning, a little bit more details on that particular matter. But a no confidence motion was put to the parliament in Pakistan there against the Prime Minister and Prime Minister Imran Khan. And the deputy speaker blocked the no confidence motion, and he's on the Prime Minister asked the president call for an early elections immediately. So quite an interesting play that is going on right now. And I think that one of the things that we should note is that the ratings for for that particular party now has started to go up because of the claims that are being made about international interference into the country that actually led to the no confidence motion being tabled in the first place. So definitely we'll be following a lot more on that story tomorrow. A lot more details to come.
Last happening on that front.
And in Sri Lanka, so many protests happening in Sri Lanka as persons defy curfew and all of that. Well, what's interesting is that in Sri Lanka, the entire cabinet has resigned as a crisis of protesters defy curfew.
Yeah.
The entire cabinet.
I hope the field is down here.
I'm thinking of the same.
Whole scampnet need to resign.
So many
focus on Sri Lanka.
So many things happening there on the international front. But guys, like I said, tomorrow we're going to continue to cover the war between Russia and Ukraine. Well, the war that Russia has instigated in Ukraine. I think the invasion.
We seem not able to get exactly what it is. The war, invasion, military operation.
Yes, but I think the world has just labeled it a war. And that is what we're going with. So and definitely we'll be covering some more coming out of Pakistan and what is going on with the Prime Minister there, Imran Khan, as he deals with that situation with the no confidence motion there. And guys, so as we move on to what's going on in the local front right about now.
What's happening in your neighborhood, folks? Locally.
Well, the nurses are saying that the Nurses Association is accusing the Health Ministry of attempting to usurp authority of council. The Nurses Administration.
What?
The Nurses Administration, they are actually accusing the ministry of attempting to usurp.
Very interesting.
Attempting to usurp the authority of the council right now.
Very interesting times we are in, folks. And, there's no easy day, apparently. No easy day for the nurses in Linden especially, and nurses countrywide. And we were getting reports, guys, that the health minister did come out and say that in the recent past, that a lot of the nurses were migrating. Well, people don't run from good, no, sir. People don't run from good. If we were treating them well, they would have stayed. And this very minister was one who pointed out that nurses and doctors in other places were paid well.
Correct.
And now they have the clothing and state power, as we see here, and they can improve the plight of the nurses. And we think that one of the avenues in which they're trying to reduce the exodus of our nurses is by not giving attention to the nursing council.
But that's what they're saying, and according to what we're picking up out of Village Voice, is that the president of the Guyana Nurses Association, and that is by Carl, said after halting the work of the General Nursing Council, the Ministry of Health is now attempting to usurp the functions of the regulatory body. A situation the association warns has major implications for the health of the nation.
Wow.
So, and we've been talking about the fact that the administration says they don't seem to like to work with anyone that is not yes men and yes women. That when they say jump, you ask how high.
Yeah.
Once you want to see systems in place, once you want to see a system of progress and accountability altogether, they are upset and they try to stifle any body or organization that is going to attempt to hold them accountable and to get anything meaningful for the ordinary citizens of this country.
Georgia, that's an interesting observation you've made there. Very interesting observation, because if we extend that, we saw a kind of a rush to appoint a commissioner of police. And if we go by what you've just said, that'll be quite interesting. And the head of state said that it was a necessity. He used those exact words, necessity, to have a commissioner of police. Interestingly enough, apparently it's not a necessity to have a nursing council functioning.
Exactly.
They don't seem to like structures and systems. And maybe that is why we don't have a Judicial Service Commission.
Well, I was just about to say that's another one for you to add to
Integrity Commission.
Yep.
Right. Petroleum Commission. We saw some names floated for the Natural Resource Fund. Where are we on that? The Public Procurement Commission. Where are we on that? Some names were floated. I don't think that has been ratified or it has gone through all of the channels. The committee has not, the body has not met yet. Right? They don't seem to like structures and to, again, as you see, independent bodies.
They don't like
oversight.
They don't
transparency,
like accountability. So anybody that is anybody that is actually functioning as should, because the whole purpose of having these bodies in place is so that they will act as a means of accountability altogether, and they should be strategically placed, and they should function as they were intended to function. But when you attempt to usurp their powers altogether and take away that right for them to overlook, and the right of oversight and all of those things, while many of those communities, not all have oversight responsibilities, but all of them act in a manner so that they have some aspect of accountability that is entrusted to them as a body. And when you remove that, you are basically saying that you have no concern about accountability altogether. That is how I interpret it.
No, and we got to move past this. If the Constitution or there are certain norms, unless you can justify, well, the Constitution, there's a method in which you change it, and norms, if you can justify why people should move away from these norms, then, one could see, you might have a justification, you might have a rationale, but they just don't even consult, they don't inform, they don't do anything, they don't communicate, they just move away from all that is good practice. And here we are, almost 2 years in, and lots of the constitutional bodies don't function.
But we have had a history with so many things when it comes to nurses and how the treatment altogether. If you would remember the issue in Linden with one Rudy Small, that was that everyone was aware of. Where were the actions taken to protect the nurses in that regard? So many things that we see. First, those nurses having to face, and then we go and we say, oh, well, they're moving away, they should not go away.
But I'm so happy that Jarita has mentioned that, because there are nurses right now in Linden who are complaining of victimization by the CEO of the Linden Hospital Corporation, the Linden Hospital Complex, Mr. Rudy Small. And the nurses say,
he's still there?
Some of them, he's still there.
After all of those comments?
After all of those comments.
What does he make comments against women?
The nurses go and meet with a sweet man and all that. I don't know, like he's bothered somehow by that.
But it's the
drink
same.
Your mommy, mind your own business.
The same. That goes, guys. Listen, I'm gonna just branch off a little bit, but it goes right back to the whole aspect of code of conduct that we spoke about, and we've been speaking about so much last week, and all the conversations that are being had right about now in the public, in the newspapers, a lot of coverage about public officer and misconduct altogether. And if there is no repercussions,
that's a whole discussion.
If there's no repercussions to such actions, then what do we expect? You have the same person in that specific position. What is going to go on as we move forward?
What's going to happen? As a matter of fact, Juita, there are several nurses who are complaining right now, again, that victimization at the hands of the CEO there. And case in point, they have pointed out that some of the nurses drive. And folks, you would think this is, I don't know, I can't even factor a country in this world that behaves in this way. Nurses drive. You have a case where you have a parking lot in the hospital, and nurses are being told you can't, only doctors and certain senior staff can park in the parking lot. And so we saw one instance where at nights the parking lot is virtually empty, and the guards turning female nurses away who drive. You got parked outside, and then they're saying there have been occasions where the vehicles are vandalized. And there's an empty parking lot. This reminds me of the Titanic, at least the movie version, where lifeboats had space, the boat sinking, right? Could have taken in more passengers, but you got to stay out, because it is madness. And at least you guys think, we are making things up. We're gonna show you some footage of the same, and this is where we ask you guys to share the live stream and smash the emoji button, because it's not just, we don't do it for the likes and so on, but it helps us circulate the content so that other folks know what is happening, right? I mean, Rita, how would you feel as a woman? There's an empty parking lot and somebody said, no, you got park inside.
I would have probably been applying to some other country to go work over.
There are some designs
So like
by
the
this
rest of the
administration for Region 10 and for Linden in particular, and they're not good designs. They're not good designs at all. You know, I think we may have that video queued up, empty parking lot.
Yeah.
But you're being told, oh, use a low level nurse, park outside. The parking lot is only for the upper echelons. I mean, like nighttime, you know.
Yeah.
Empty parking lot, you know.
So this is what is going on right now at LHC. One car in the parking lot. One in the parking lot. And that is a doctor's car. This police vehicle is here because they're waiting on a patient. Now the parking lot is empty and the security stopping nurses outside and saying only doctors and sisters can come in the compound to park. Now this is what happening and the parking lot is empty. And you have to park outside and this is night time. The park outside doesn't have lights, it doesn't have camera. When damages are occurred to your vehicle, nobody is held accountable or responsible. And they're stopping you from coming in the compound, the nurses. The security at the gate with a list that the CEO sent, saying that these are the vehicles numbers of the vehicle who's supposed to come in. So, we the nurses can't come in, we have to park outside, and the parking lot is empty inside.
Guyana different.
Not everyone in management positions have management ability.
Let's put it mildly. I want to say some things, but it's a morning program.
Yeah, I'm thinking
and
it's
Monday.
I think that's the lightest way
it's
to
Monday.
put that over. That not because you are placed in a position of authority means that you have the ability to be in a position of authority, right? There are certain
and you know
distinct features and characteristics.
Rudy Small got off to a bad start at LMC, LHC, Linden Hospital Complex. Got off to a bad start. And he had an opportunity to redeem himself. But like he got something against women, female nurses. You saw that parking lot is empty. Guyana. One car, a police vehicle, they say waiting on somebody. And you tell nurses park outside. Right? And how long ago were we celebrating International Women's Day? Was it 5 years ago?
It was last month.
Was last month. Something is wrong in this country. People who say they care, and it's one Guyana, right? Something is wrong in this country. And I think we're approaching a tipping point, you know. I think so.
Well,
Over to you.
There are so many ways you can go around that, right? You can imagine him having to put forward a list of vehicles that should come in if the parking lot is so crowded that the doctors don't have a place to park. And as you could clearly see, it's empty there. But even if you were saying, well, it's empty there now because it's night in our video, then it begs the question of why does this regulation cover the nights as well? Because you would know, persons that would know, a lot of the doctors that work in night shift are on call, right? They're on call and you can call them in if there's an emergency or so forth, when the nurses have to go in and have to book and do their timing and so forth. Now, there's so many ways of maneuvering around that to avoid it becoming a big problem.
Treated as wickedness.
You know? It's wickedness to the highest.
That's wickedness. If you ever want to see wickedness, the definition, that's it. That's wickedness right there. That's wickedness. I want to say a lot of other things that would take us real down here.
Yeah, we can leave that for the night program.
That's
We
wickedness.
can leave it for the night program.
Right?
Don't worry.
That's wickedness.
But high class nonsense, and again, I must say that that's what happens when you put persons in positions that has no business
Unfortunately,
being there. They have no business being there in a managerial position, right?
Unfortunately.
Right? Where is his assessment being done? You know, who actually writes up a report as to his performance when the year go by?
Pamela Johnson says he's mean and low. I think he characterized it well.
Yeah.
Mean and low is wicked, right? Maureen Chichester Paul says wicked, stinking, dirty. Spot on.
Yep.
Like I heard that before, wicked, stinking, dirty.
I think I heard that before somewhere.
Yeah.
But he is. Those things need to be brought to person's attention, and I think unless, and the community of Linden came out against this particular person.
I wonder when that is drawn to the Minister of Health attention, what did he do? When that was drawn to the President's attention, you all tag them, tag Frank Anthony, right? You think Walter Lawrence would do that?
Never.
Would have done that?
Absolutely never.
Right? George Norton, all them got the flaws, would have done that? Under a David Granger-led administration or any coalition-led administration? What did Irfan Ali do when he heard that? You got empty parking lot, nighttime.
Female nurses
working in night shift. And then by saying, park your car outside. We've haven't it is your business. We get time with that. But it's one Guyana.
It's Linden, you know.
Oh boy.
Let a complaint that's coming from somewhere else. Yes, I said it. Let a complaint what's coming from somewhere else.
Yeah. And another issue we'll be looking at, Twitter. In Linden. Quite a few issues in Linden.
Yeah, well, one of the
Region
things,
10, Linden.
Well, one of the things that I picked up again is that that the report is saying from the fire service that it was a power surge that caused the Wisma fire that they had. A power surge actually caused the Wisma fire.
What next?
That we had,
what
you know.
Next?
And for that one in particular, the question obviously is in my mind whether the power company is going to be compensating the persons there for that. So
how long you could wait?
We need to get to a point where
how long you could wait?
Where you're not only responsible for you're not a citizen, you're not only responsible for paying your bills, but the company is responsible to protect against you and your property from such damages in the future. So that's a whole discussion to be had after as well.
How long can you wait? That's the question. How long can you wait? And in addition to that, Linden got some water woes. Last week or the week prior on our programs, we were showing water coming through one of the taps. Dark water, black water, muddy water coming through one of the taps. You know, it's gotten worse. The folks say now worms coming through the taps. Right? Worms coming through the tap. Can you imagine that?
I don't want to picture it.
Can you imagine that? Worms coming through the tap in Linden. Right? What's going on there? That's what I want to know.
No, that's a different. Listen, that's not something. That is not something for nobody to take lightly. That's a serious issue altogether. That's a health issue. That is a health issue that needs to be addressed immediately. A complaint like that is no ordinary complaint at all. Worms coming through the tap. Seriously?
That's what they're saying. Worms, you know.
And this oil producing republic.
In the oil producing republic, I think the guys got some footage for us even. Worms coming through the tap. You know.
Afford it. But that's someone that actually has a filter, so he can afford to have a filter there to see that. But all the persons just carrying on with the basic day, washing the hair with some warm water, not warm.
And Judy, I want you to contextualize that in the biggest budget ever.
552.9
Oh, you know it so well. You know it so well.
That budget,
biggest budget ever, right? And then we're projected to be the fastest growing economy. Oh, that's 20% or 40%. We always throw that around. But worms coming through the tap.
My goodness.
Oh, we poor, but we never so poor. Worms, you know, coming through the tap.
Oh, that's kind of really
and that's what the guy sent us that, showing us if you filter, you're barely making it here with a filter. You see why we asked you guys to share the program? You know, because if you don't know what's happening, you say, oh, them boys doing nice, man. Look, this fancy team we have. What Guyana? Oh, all things bright and beautiful. All right? But these are the parts. You don't get a fella with the camera driving around, showing you, you know.
You're not gonna see this on NCN
or
DPI. You're not gonna see the Guyana Chronicle actually going into this. You know, same sets of people that utilize taxpayers' dollars to go and highlight what is going on in the country and so on and so forth. No one can send that to them because they will never put it out to the public.
You won't see it in the Chronicle. Won't see it in a lot of other places. Worms coming through your tap. When last you inspect the water coming through your pipe?
So folks in Linden, I want to say, but this is sometimes we have to be very creative in a way which we put over things. Folks in Linden, folks that is utilizing this water, I will caution you and I'll ask you for your own safety and the safety of your family, your children, to make sure that you inspect the water that they are utilizing, because that's a very serious report, a very serious accusation going there that worm is coming out of
Interestingly,
the water.
Love Twitter, when Bar Jagdio went to Region 2 last week, they got 2 water treatment plants. Out of a hat, out of thin air.
And
2
then,
water treatment plants. What are water treatment plants for Linden?
Well, then the headline read that that Bar Jagdio also said that they're going to be utilizing some of the oil revenues to deal with water, giving better water. And the conversation we had here last week is the fact that the system, the mechanism that is set up, the structure of how they utilize the money, there is no way for you to track what money goes where. So that headline by itself was misleading, incorrect altogether. It is a blatant falsehood for you to give the impression that you have a system in place to track and to allocate resources from that fund to go to specific project. But forget about that. I had to show that back in there. But forget about that. When you have a system right now, persons utilizing water, children utilizing water, children going to school, mind you, this is still in a COVID environment. Children are still being asked to wash their hands at school. This is what they do. You go to school, children take lunch to school, the teachers ask them to go, some of them line them up nicely, go to responsible teachers and say, go wash your hands and then come and eat. So they're going, imagine a situation that worm is coming out of the tap and the teachers sending children to wash their hands and then come to go and eat.
Yeah. Our problems are myriad, You got, if the worm is in the water, they won't kill you. It's COVID. It's a speeding driver. It's a drunken driver,
It's crazy.
Very much so, very much so.
Crazy as can be.
What else are we following in the trend? What's in the trend?
1 month later, the Eiffel estate, the estate factory still down, and the Eiffel Sugar Estate factory still done 1 month later.
What? I thought they were reopening, they're closing down now. That's how far we got.
Well, there are some other headlines that is saying that it will be back up soon. I think soon is a word that I noted in one of those headlines.
Coming soon.
Well, they did say that.
Coming soon.
Listen, I pet lashes with this one because they did say that they know how to manage they know how to manage these estates best. They're the best thing possible when it comes to managing the estates. They said that, knowing full well that when in 2015 when the coalition got into office, the method broken practically beyond repair, and everything was done to get them out of that situation. And the reports that came in from Gaisuko is that they're bankrupt. Wow. That was the report that was given basically back in 2015. So now they're here again. And what do you expect? They have to go back to doing exactly what they did prior to 2015. And they can't manage these things. They have no intention. They have no interest in it. And they blatantly went out and lied to the population that they are interested in sugar. And
them boys different. They're different.
I will continue to say that.
They're different. So that's the estate.
Yeah, well, there's so much more for us to cover. But what... this particular headline I want to jump to that says which quoted Irfan Ali in saying that we must not be rich in possession but poor in spirit. So
I think I want to be rich in both. I don't know about you, but I feel like I want to be rich in
possession but poor in spirit. Shara, take it from me a little bit there.
Yeah, I feel like I want to be rich in both. Do we have a problem with that? Huh?
Guys, in the comment section, how are you feeling about this particular comment? How are you feeling about it? We must be rich. We must not be rich in possession, but poor in spirit.
Says who? Says the man who got the swimming pool over the river and the big mansion?
You're in Prattville?
Prattville.
1, 2.
All right.
Oh, who are we talking about?
The man who at 33 had the swimming pool and big mansion. Still, See, that's a huge property in Regent.
But what was the
right?
What was the accusation? What was the amount of rent you paid to one?
Oh yeah, sue. You got sue. You got.
What was the rent?
People got a lot of money, boy. People got a lot of money.
Listen, you do not come to a country with poor people when you are living a luxurious life. You do not come to the citizens that are poor and tell them not be rich in possession and poor in spirit. Give me a damn break. Come on.
I want both. I want rich in possession and rich in spirit.
I think the citizens of this country can take your own advice.
Yeah. You know? Give you all your money.
You know,
give you all your money.
Most ridiculous, you know.
Right? Let's be poor in
you know, a lot of persons can come and say that, and I get the spirit in which that was said and all of that. But a lot of people can come and say that, but not everybody can come to you and say these things and get away with it. You can't.
Let us be poor in possessions together. I beg of you.
Let us have that level of equality, you know. Let us have that level of equity. Let's have the equitable distribution so that we can all say, you know, well, we.
I can see folks in the comments saying, "Let him lead by example."
That's what I'm saying.
He making sense. All right, let him lead by example. Yep.
You do not come to a country in which person, and we're gonna get to that a little bit later. Well, we're getting to that. Let's just go right now to it. In which the traffic chief is calling on for the removal of vagrants and vendors at the intersections. You don't come to people. You don't come to a country with vagrants at the intersection and say you must not be rich in possession but poor in spirit.
Yep.
You know, you don't come to people like that. You don't come to a country in which children are seen at the traffic lights. They're running behind cars to clean their windows and all of those things. And you come in with that statement. No, you don't come to a country or with those situations and say those things. No, it's not acceptable. Riches for everyone wants to have possessions. Everyone wants to be at a position in their life that they can accomplish certain things for themselves and their families. Even if you grew up not having it, everyone wants you to come and say, we must all achieve and we must all strive to achieve wealth and certain possessions of this world. But we must not forget do not forget our morals. Do not substitute your values for your morals and all. You can always say all of those things, but you do not come as the head for the country and say that don't be rich in possessions and poor in spirit. No. When persons throughout this country,
you live in large, flying to Dubai 5 times already for the year, you know, but you're telling me I must be poor in possessions and so on. Right. You're going and shopping Van Arpels in New York City. You know, your lovely wife could wear a 5,000 US shoes and so on, but we must be poor in possessions.
Don't be rich in possessions and poor in spirit. Well, I can tell you, Guyanese got a rich spirit. I can tell you that.
I want possessions too.
Guyanese have rich spirit to the point.
For the next generation.
Guyanese have a rich spirit to the point that they exercise calm.
Yeah.
In so many difficult situations.
Right now, we exercise a lot of calm.
Currently, the citizens of this country, people can't see where they're feeding their children the next meal from and all of those things, but their spirit is so rich.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They're so calm and all of those things.
In other countries,
but damn anyone that is living a luxurious life off of the taxpayers' dollars to come and make a statement like that. You know, wrong statement.
In other countries, citizens are protesting vehemently, violently, but here, rich in spirit.
Rich in spirit.
Rich in spirit.
No,
poor in possession.
Yeah, rich in spirit. Very rich in spirit.
Yep.
But I guess what? I wish that all of the rich in spirit folks would be rich in possessions equally to how rich you are in spirit. And likewise, I would like all the persons that are poor in spirit just to be poor in possessions.
Yeah. And you know, my tea's finished and I vex. But as you were saying that, talking about the traffic chief and what's happening, the vagrants and so forth, we got to find a more meaningful way in which we engage those persons not so fortunate.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't say it's an eyesore for those kinds of people, but it has been noticeable.
Yeah.
How in recent years, as soon as you pull up to an intersection or a traffic light, how many people come up to your window asking you for something? I mean, it's worrying. it's worrying.
People that are rich in possession don't go on the street.
And when it's adults, it's children, it's across you know, the age spectrum. People come up to your window and they want something. People are hungry, people are in need, people are hurting financially, and it's worrying.
But you have to have that rich spirit to actually notice it. I speak about it time and time again, of the fact that we have so many persons in authority. I mean, and I say this, I don't care how you take it, I don't care how people take it, but I always say, I said here, Finale himself confirmed what I'm saying, that this is the first time our country has the resources to tackle these things. You know, we have the resources that we can disperse into these areas to deal with these matters strategically, but we don't see any structured way of management that addresses these particular issues. Children on the streets, no. Where's the campaigns that is going around to get children off the streets altogether? That should be a priority of our country. Vagrants on the streets, definitely. I know one of my colleagues actually did, when I was doing my master's, one of my colleagues did a research paper dealing with vagrants on the street. Very, very interested findings, very, very interesting recommendations coming out of those papers. I think the administration needs to look to some of those things. A lot of university papers are very useful.
We don't research for them, and things really. Research and studies and so on.
Yeah, but we have to get to a point that we fix these particular issues, those social issues, because they have their socio-economic implications that comes with it that we should not have to deal with. And I dare say we have the resources now to deal with it. Fix it.
Yeah.
Simple.
As we on the issue of roads, UG Road has come up for attention quite recently.
I think I drew a line around that one.
That road has been on the repairs for 8 months, well over $200 million in repairs, and opened just under 3 days, and the road is already falling apart. Right? So we poor in roads, poor in spirit, poor in good contracting services and all of that. The guys have a video they want to show, but it doesn't have any audio. Bear in mind, so nothing is wrong with your volume when you look at the video. The video has no audio, but it demonstrates what's happening there at UG Road. Yep. There it is for you.
You know, I was looking at a video, and what came to mind is the fact that it was you, Sharon Duncan, that highlighted a system, a cycle in which the administration seemed to go through in order to have these issues rectified. Well, I can't remember the stage.
It's a three-stage.
A three-stage, yes.
Three-stage process. One, you're going to draw a line on the problem.
And as you can see, the line has been drawn around.
You draw a line along the problem. And then when there's enough, when there's some public pushback that must be fixed, right? You're just going to rub out the line.
They might put some cones so persons don't drive it.
Just rub out the line. And then when there's enough pressure, right? Then you're just going to fix the problem. That's the three-stage problem. You draw a line around it. You just go back, rub out the line. And then days later, when enough people on social media, right, make a fuss, then just go. and you fix it. It's a 3-stage process.
Oh my goodness.
So they've gone to the first stage.
They draw
They draw a line around. They draw a line.
Our country different.
They draw a line around it.
We're different.
3 days since that road has been open. 3 days. Right. Millions of dollars to repair it, and it's breaking up already.
Yeah. Well, I will look forward to see that in the Auditor General's report for 2022. I hope that.
Mind you, 2019, the contractor was barred from public contract.
That's why I'm saying I look forward to seeing it in the 2022 Auditor General's report, because such things definitely can't miss the report.
in addition to that, Rita, there was over the weekend an accident on Homestretch Avenue.
Yeah.
Thankfully, it wasn't fatal as we were on roads and so on. It wasn't fatal, but again, we are asking persons to exercise caution in how they are using the roads. Please do that. I think we have some footage.
Yes. I think we should go ahead with the footage first.
Another one by the dust, Homestretch, and Mandela Junction again.
You need a mash brakes now.
Plus you have. All right, but y'all can. You got it?
Yeah. He ran. I was still there and I see that one drive over. I couldn't knock it. I had a mash brakes.
I understand.
I was showing him to the mash brakes. He drive over slow. If you understand me, auntie?
Yeah.
I couldn't do nothing.
Yeah, but you can't threaten the man.
Yeah, but you see.
That's considered terroristic threats if you threaten the man.
Only two after he found so.
Yeah, I know.
You see, we come in and he never say he stop nothing by nothing.
Yeah.
He just run into you just
to
to drive.
Yeah, once you're turning, you're supposed to stop.
That's why I know.
Let the police handle it now.
You got a picture by your mash brakes.
You can got your pictures?
I couldn't nothing. When I mash brakes, the car still skating going. I can't do nothing. He drive over. You're supposed to stop.
All right, don't row. You got
No,
I'm telling him no row.
Anything. You
I
realize,
know,
because I realize it's an accident. I know the circumstance. I stop there and I proceed.
Yeah.
You come in there, you said like to stop. Watch your skin markers over the stop line. Where you supposed to stop?
Yeah, but there's no, everybody's a four-way. Everybody got to be cautious.
Yes, you got to proceed with caution. It's nonsense.
You got to get your mother to the hospital. Is the ambulance coming?
Yeah.
This junction really needs a traffic light. Should wash her mouth boss and stuff. Shouldn't care. Take all the
Yeah. Could have been worse. But the reports suggest that there were no fatalities there. But
I don't think that we have had one morning since doing this show that we did not come on and encourage persons and caution people to go out there and be careful. You know, we have to keep saying it because we have a few people in this country. We don't have that many people. Come on. We have to safeguard our lives.
Take it easy out there, guys.
You know?
Caution on the roads.
A lot of those things are not necessary. Too many persons rushing to go to a job that doesn't appreciate them. You know, I don't know how.
Working for government. Working for the PPP. Clearly, working for the PPP.
So it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
We need to do better.
Slow down. Be
all
cautious.
The road rage and all of that. Yes, a lot of times you know you got to right the way, and so, but you just calculate in your mind that some crazy person coming the opposite way.
Take it easy
and
out
all
there.
of those things.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Be careful. And
Be careful.
I'm happy. I'm very happy that there was no serious injuries to the best of my knowledge.
The biggest surgery
from that particular accident.
Thankfully.
But I'm gonna allow Cher to start us off on a big issue this morning. So much to discuss on that.
The big issue we're talking about indigenous villages concerns being ignored, and we're seeing a pattern of recent. Well, it has always been there, but now I think lots of the indigenous communities are more vocal. They ain't checking nonsense, and that's what we keep seeing. A lot of indigenous villages, they're concerned. That's the big issue this morning. Their concerns are not being heard. Their concerns are being ignored. As a matter of fact, their concerns are being ignored, and that is very, 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 very telling, Judah. Very, very telling.
But you see, as so many reports that are coming in, I think there's a few headlines, a few newspapers, news outlets that picked up on that particular situation.
Yeah, there's the one in Region 10, where quite a number of communities, indigenous communities, Region 10. The first being Wiki Kalkuni.
Yeah.
They are petitioning to have the Tushao there removed over what they deem to be financial irregularities. And this is a Tushao that was installed by the current administration. And the folks, they want what was promised: transparency, good governance, those accountability. That's what they're asking for. And they've said that even though they petitioned the minister,
correct,
their calls have gone unanswered. And this area is an indigenous community in Region 10, Wiki Kalkuni, and their concerns are being ignored. Also in Region 10 is Hururu village, another indigenous settlement there. And just over the weekend, Rita, they had a budgeted meeting. The folks were asking, how did we spend the last monies that we had? They have lots of concerns there, and the Tushao there seems to be more interested in passing a new budget for them to appropriate more money. And the fear of the residents is that these monies will also be unaccounted for in a few months' time, as the last disbursement of money were also have also gone unaccounted for. They said there's usually a financial report, and when they ask for the report, their concerns are not being heard. They've reached out to the minister. The minister is not listening to them. And the last meeting there was confusion powder, really and truly. I think we even got some footage of that.
Yeah.
Confusion powder, Judah.
Well, I did see that bit of footage on that, but I want to make a few points about when it comes to the system of accountability that is utilized in a lot of these communities, these villages, indigenous villages in the country. I think persons need to first understand that there is no structured system of accountability and accounting altogether that is set up, that is utilized throughout village to village. That's the first thing persons need to know. So as persons going, you will see very different systems being used. A lot of, well, probably all of them, I would assume. This is just an assumption I'm making based on the knowledge I have from prior. I don't know if of recent it has changed. But before, practically all of those communities would use manual accounting systems and so on and so forth. But I want to make the point that it was during the period of 2015 to 2020. This is not, I'm not guessing this, and I'm just not just saying it because of where I stand politically, but it was during that period and the whole surge of interest in local governance and the information that was put out there in terms of how communities should be managed and the whole grassroots leadership concept that brought light to so many persons as to how these things should be done. So now you are seeing the results of all of those, and persons are speaking out and they're saying, no, this is not so. You can't just make decisions that is not what the community wants, and that is not the desire of the community altogether. And again, the PPP administration, they have never dealt with that before. They're used to dealing with a system of persons that whatever is done, the people just live with and handle. However, they are not used to deal with persons that are speaking out and saying, no, we demand better than this. We demand a system of good governance at the local level. We demand a system of accountability and transparency. Yeah. And that is why you're seeing all of this. So we are in FYI, I think our affiliate programs are in possession of several of those documentations that went to the Ministry of Amerindian Affairs, since they changed the name from Indigenous Peoples Affairs, that went to the Ministry of Amerindian Affairs, and they are yet to receive the attention of Pauline Sakai. One of those is from Santa Cruz.
Yeah.
That particular one, I have gone through the petition, very well put together, all of their claims and all of that. They very thorough with the way in which it was reported. And again, another updated piece of documentation that we are in receipt of what have transpired since then, and what is missing
Which is
from
nothing.
there.
Nothing has transpired since. Nothing has transpired since then.
All of
these communities have tried to engage the Ministry of Indigenous Affairs, Ministry of Amerindian Affairs, and their queries, their concerns have gone unanswered. And that is why, for instance, in the second instance of this settlement in Region 10, Hururu, that is why the meeting ended up to what it ended up to over the weekend, guys. Take a look.
Right? We need to hear about it. We cannot get one person holding the village back. Right? They need the budget. Yeah.
Alright, could I say something, please? President, could I say something? All those who are in favor of this budget, let me go and reach by the Tennessee. Everybody who is in favor of this budget, let me go by the Tennessee.
Yeah. The people aren't foolish, you know.
I'm so proud of them.
The people are not foolish. The people want to know what is happening with their money. See why we ask you all to share, and to smash the emoji. Let people see.
Yep.
Credible and valid information. The people there in Hururu, they said, you know, how you can pass a budget, but you ain't even account for the last one. Even them instinctively know what good practices are.
It's not
people.
This is not instinctively. Listen,
Don't
push it. No, don't push it over as instinctively. This is not instinctively. Prior to 2015, all sorts of skullduggery, and that is the right word. I'm not changing that word. Went on in these communities in which monies were spent, unaccounted for, and all sorts of nonsense. It was during the period of 2015 to 2020 that persons were made aware and educated as to the systems that should be in place in order for monies to be spent efficiently and for the benefit of the community. So that is what you're seeing here. You're seeing what you're seeing here being played out. That person are saying, no, we know better now. So you have to do better. You're not going to go back to what transpired prior to 2015.
Yeah.
You have to practice this good governance
that
we know now. Basically, that is what is going on right there.
I love it.
So proud of all of the folks. They're extremely proud.
There. That's democracy.
Pauline Sakai doesn't know how to deal with that. Let me tell you, she doesn't know how to deal with that.
That's democracy here. And the people have a right. And you see, guys, this is why we ask you, this is why we plead. Share, and smash the emoji button. So we've covered 2 villages so far. 2 Amerindian settlements, Wiki Kalkuni and Hururu. Both of them, incidentally, are in Region 10. Why is it that our indigenous brothers and sisters got to be crying out right? Their concerns are going unheard. They're saying, so long we see PPP, Irfan Ali, and all the other folks. What's happening there? And then we have another one, Georgia.
Yeah. Well, Santa Cruz, that is the other one that we're looking at. And again, I will say to you guys, we are in receipt of the petition that was sent, a copy of the documentation that was sent to the minister. And like I said, very detailed. You can't ask for more. Very detailed. These are the concerns of the villagers of that village there with Santa Cruz, and no response. Absolutely nothing being done by Pauline Sakai to address these grave concerns. And that is a concern that we have. Everyone needs to be concerned about that, because folks, the people there, they're saying that yes, this money is here to manage the affairs of the community. This money is here to be spent so that the persons within this community will benefit from it. And it is not being done in such a way. The persons are saying that they are not in favor of what is going on at that level. They are saying that the Tushau there basically is not doing what he should do. All of these cases, the one with the money is coming from where you just...
All of them are money issues. All of them.
You just covered
right? Wiki Kalkoni, Hururu,
yes,
and now little Kanubali in Santa Cruz, right? Also, all of them are money matters. All of them. But financial irregularities.
But these are when you have a certain level of governance at the very top, these are the things that you see playing out at the lower levels. And again, when the people stand up and say they're not having it, you're going to see some people. Don't be surprised if you see a team of ministers going into these areas and say, no, you don't row and let people know that you got issues,
You stay quiet and don't get involved.
Take a 2-pint of rice, like you say.
Pint split peas.
Keep quiet,
Hamp in your skin. So,
but I'm encouraged. I'll tell those persons from those communities that have been voicing your concerns, those villages that have been voicing your concerns, do not be muzzled for chump change. Do not be muzzled for chump change.
Do not be muzzled for any change.
Don't do that. Don't let persons come in. You have concerns, unless those concerns are addressed efficiently, effectively, to actually demonstrate any length of change, and not just temporary change, but change that will be continued after persons pack up and leave. All right? Unless persons are coming there to speak to you about that level of change, a systemic change, do not let persons come and sweet talk you and muzzle you for basically nothing.
Yeah. So from Little Kanubali, Santa Cruz Region 1, a youngster reached out to us. I think his name is Ted Lucas. Very, very active, very, very vocal with the issues there. And again, yet another issue where they're saying that the village council of the Tushau has not been good stewards of the people's finances. And they said, like Wiki Kalkuni, they have petitioned the minister. Several of them signed the petition. 2 months later, that petition has gone unanswered. Folks, this is why we say share and smash, because he even went so far as to send us a video.
Wow.
Right? That's how desperate they are. And while you listen to himself, and while you listen, share the damn live stream and smash the emoji button for us, so other folks know what's happening. Folks, I think the guys got that ready. Do we have it? I think we do.
Good evening, Mr. Duncan. My name is Ted Lucas from Santa Cruz Region 1, Morocco. I am sending this video for you to help us to get the minister's attention. Minister Pauline Sakai from the Ministry of Family and Affairs. The reason why is because we have so many community concerns that need to be addressed. Some are very urgent. We had sent a petition to her since in January, the 24th to the 1st month of this year. Up to this date, we have not received any response whether the ministry is looking into our interests or not. We have been frustrated. We have been calling them and they're telling us they will reach, they will come, and nobody is paying any attention to us. The reason why is because some of these concerns affect our everyday livelihood, and they are not giving us any attention. The petition that we had sent to her is for an investigation into the removal of our Tushao and treasurer. The reason why we seek the removal of the Tushao and the treasurer is because there was their projects totaling $17 million, and under the 17, and some of these projects monies had been disappeared, and when we pressure them to know where are these monies, they don't know where the money, they don't have receipts of this money. Some of this project does not benefit the people, and that is why we are seeking her. We have been calling upon her for a very long time, and she's not giving us any attention. So we don't know where else to turn to. Some of this issue includes the police. We have been reaching out to the police, and we are not even getting satisfaction there. Sometimes it is like you are at fault. You are the bad person. Villagers had been reaching out to me every day. They have been calling. And 62 of us had signed this petition from the village, requesting her attention. I don't know if she requesting her attention. I don't know if her secretary told me that minister have the petition on her desk and she's looking at it. How 2 months you're gonna be looking at something, and up to now you can't even respond to the village whether you can come or not? Are you not interested to know how are these monies being spent? Are you not interested to know what is happening in the village? We've been calling upon them, and we are not getting no response. We recently received a tractor. We need confirmation as to what comes with it. We are hearing all sorts of issues from our Tushaos. Our Tushao and Kong's treasurer. We don't know where to turn to. How long more she gonna take to listen to us? There's so many things need to be addressed within our petition. She have it on her desk there. Why is she dragging her feet on it? Why is she not giving us the attention that we want? We have to come on social media to beg her to go to visit us. I mean, there's a whole ministry there. You don't have technical people that you can send into these regions as well. We've been reaching out to so many people. This is total nonsense. We are frustrated. Why she has to be like this? Is she not capable of what she's doing? We don't know where else to turn to. That is why we're sending you this video, to see what assistance, what you can do for us, to give her the attention, and she can look into what is happening in our village in Santa Cruz, Little Canyon Valley.
Yep. Somebody please tag the minister. Love what he said. Very forthright. Love what he said. Tag Minister Sukai. Tag the Ministry of American Affairs. Tag them. That's from a resident himself. Santa Cruz, Little Canu Valley.
Well, I want to say, first of all, first thing I want to put out there is how extremely proud I am of the young people and the fact that they are standing up. And they are not afraid to stand up. This is something that we need to commend that young man for, Ted Lucas. We need to commend him for his giving the inspiration, needed inspiration for persons to know that everyone have a responsibility to stand up and demand what is rightfully theirs. Demand what is rightfully yours. So Ted Lucas has done an amazing, and he said it. He's saying that basically, based on everything that he said there, it appears that this is his last resort. Like he has exhausted efforts to get the attention of the minister. They wrote the letters, they signed a petition, and it is there sitting on her desk. They call the secretary, they are calling, asking for, they're trying to communicate. They're trying to do things in a manner that you say to the book. You first engage the ministry. You can't say, oh, so why you never come and tell us? Because he is saying there that they went, I think he said 62 of them, if I'm remembering correctly, sign a petition. It is there, and he's following up with the secretary. The secretary is saying it is on the minister's desk, and she's looking at it, but absolutely no response being given. And he is literally saying, do we have to come here on social media and beg for you to come and visit us? But social media is a beautiful thing. And I would say to Ted Lucas that he would be surprised to see how fast people get up and act when you bring things to the public, like he has done right now. Rightly so.
And Jurita said it best, action. It seems people watch our programs to know what's happening in the country, even members of the government, and then they go and fix it. Then they go and fix it. So if this is what we gotta do, is what we gotta do. This is why, folks, we ask you guys to share the content so people can see what's happening and know. Because when we come and say it, people get the impression, oh, it's just, the other cap we wear, we members of the National Assembly too. Oh, is the other side spreading propaganda? But here is a villager. And we showed you footage of the meeting in what's the area? How is it? Hururu.
Yes.
And now this is little Kanubali. The people themselves upset, angry, frustrated, want intervention by the government. And they seem not to be able to get the attention of the administration, whatever. Maybe everybody overseas.
It's serious. What he's speaking about is extremely serious, and he called one particular figure. He called one of the issues that they raised is of the Tusha's inability to account for a project that was for $17 million. You can't account for $17 million. Those are one of the many issues that they highlighted that they wrote to the minister about for that particular Tusha. The minister don't see anything wrong with it. So want to can account for 17 million. That is the way in which it's been treated.
Small thing. Welcome to the club.
The young man said Lucas thought it best to reach out to everyone after the minister completely ignored the cries of the villagers there at Santa Cruz. The minister ignored the plea of the villagers and left them absolutely no other alternative but to come to the public and state their concerns, since their concerns were shelved at the level of the Ministry of Amerindian Affairs. That is the truth.
That's it. Plain and simple. That is it. Plain and simple.
Well, guys, that's it for today.
That's it. Plain and simple.
That's it for the morning program this morning. I'll encourage you to share. Make sure that you share the live stream so other persons will be familiar what is going on. Tag the minister, like Sherrod rightly said. Tag the ministry, tag the minister, tag all of them there, because the claims being made by the young man is that they sent correspondence to the ministry, and the ministry is not responding 2 months after absolutely nothing being said as to the way forward in dealing with these things. And it appears that only when you come and cuss down and abuse down publicly that people receive some bit of aid. And I dare say to the persons there in Santa Cruz and all of the other communities, don't let nobody come there with a couple of hampers to muzzle you. Do not let that happen. You have grave concerns when it comes to accountability, and those concerns need to be addressed. You cannot be muzzled with a little bit of hampers, because, and I'm saying it and I'm repeating it because I know how these people operate.
You know the state.
I know how they operate, and I'm saying that because of past behavior. It's a good prediction of future behavior, and that is what they do. They believe they can go to these communities, especially indigenous communities. I have no apologies for saying, especially indigenous communities. They are so disrespectful. The people have legitimate concerns. Go address the concerns. That's the only thing you should be going there for.
We're going to talk about AFC and
address the concerns.
Elections and SOPs. That's what we're talking about.
No, but people, and
I dare say
the video that you showed a little earlier with a person voicing their concerns, and that's basically saying that these people know if you're coming to tell us BS.
But
so prep yourself, Pauline Sukai, and go with solutions to the issues.
Richard, there's a larger issue of corruption in the PPP that has come back again.
Yes.
With the coming back of the PPP, corruption, mismanagement, lack of accountability, all of the bad vices in government and governance, they have come back. And this is just a microcosm of what is happening throughout the system, because we have talked on our programs, on our platforms about, for instance, Mabaruma, NDC, the folks thief up a lot of money there. Some of them were dismissed. None of them facing any graver charge. None of them facing any penalty by the police. For instance, they have not been investigated. They have not been arrested. Millions missing from the Mabruma NDC. And you hear, somebody left the work at the NDC because, they were part of that one day. On Monday and Tuesday, they turn on at the hospital there in the region and get work. Right? So it's just a microcosm. It's happening at the NDC. It's happening at the RDCs as well, and it's damn well happening in the government.
I shudder to think what a corruption index is going to reflect for 2022.
We had the case with Sharon Hicks. A policing operation caught her demanding bribes from a contractor. So it's at every level. Corruption. So I don't know how the minister is going to respond to these guys when in her own ministry, she can't respond to that. Because
that's the case all by itself. Yeah. Well, guys, it's so good to have you with us this morning, as every other morning. Continue to
Monday the 4th, guys. Monday the 4th.
Yep.
Fine weather at our end. Good to see Jewel Ward and Glycis Mingo Burns. Glycis. Diane Graves Dandy. Good to see all of you guys. And thanks for joining us, folks. This is why we beg of you. Share the broadcast. Smash the emoji button and partner with us, guys. Partner with us so we can do more of these programs. We can stay on air. That's number one. Stay on air means we pay bills, we meet our responsibilities, and we continue to gather this kind of content that we know that you guys. I am starting some of you say, but I know all this happening.
Oh my goodness.
All right, that's why we are here. You don't have to know. We can bring it to you live and direct. We can make sure that you're in the know. Stay in the know.
We're gonna have, and I'm gonna say that I'm gonna think from this point on, probably tomorrow, sometime later in the week, you're gonna see the newspapers catching on to that particular story that is transpiring.
We heard it here first. Now. Yep. We heard it here first.
Have a good day, guys. See you tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. and then be sure to join at 12 noon for Below the Belt.
Believe it or not, I have Ted Lucas.
Who? Wow.
Joining me. That's a young man from Santa Cruz. He's gonna be joining me for the podcast today in person live. Expanding on that story, what's happening there in Santa Cruz. Santa Cruz sounds very exotic. I think I visited, I know I went to Moruca once. I think I visited Santa Cruz too. But definitely, put some of those places on your vacation calendar. Yeah, I just want to fly to the States, fly out to Miami. They got some beautiful places here. My visit to Moruca really opened my eyes.
I love it.
When you hear people talking a different language, your own Guyanese, right? Yeah. Hey, you say, am I still here?
Yeah.
Right. The influence of the border.
Yeah.
Right. And what's across the border? Fascinating place. You're right in your country, and you don't got a TV station in Moruca picking up a local channel.
I come in here soon, guys.
Everything is cross the border.
Portuguese and Spanish.
Beautiful.
Soon.
Beautiful people in Moruca there. Region 1 on the whole. And we got to see more of our country. But thanks for joining us, guys. That's it. That's our program.
Have a good day.
Share the live stream. Smash the emoji button. Partner with us. That's it.